And this is Ken Kreitzer for CBSI Services, another edition of our CBS Talking Business interview series. We talk to leaders in the fields of banking, insurance, customer service, digital marketing, and business education, and all to highlight the work of our team at CBSI in Harrison, New York. We provide insurance-based benefits, customer service to the credit card industry. And today we are very pleased to talk with Debbie Roth, who is Vice President of Japs-Olson, a commercial printer and direct mailing company located in St. Louis Park, Minnesota. Debbie, how are you today?
Well, hi, Ken. I'm doing great. Thank you very much for having me.
Our pleasure. Now, you're very well known in the direct marketing field. Your company, a top 10 printer nationally. I saw on your website today you're at 1.3 billion pieces mailed so far this year. And maybe just tell us a little bit about your company out in Minnesota.
Well, thank you very much for asking. When I think about Japs-Olson, I think about it's truly one of those companies that fall into the great American success story, right? Why do I say that? Well, I like to take you back and just imagine, because we were not born then, 1907. That's over 113 years ago. There was a guy named Barney Japs and Gus Olson that started a small printing company. That's how we got our name, by the way. And it was a different time back then. They didn't have public schools, for instance. Freeways were not even a thought, right? So they ended up starting a small printing company, and they were fortunate enough to be able to hire a 12 or 13-year-old kid to help them out. He happened to be my grandfather. And now we are a third generation owned and operated company here in Minnesota. And we have grown the company over the years to be one of the industry's leading print and direct mail companies in the country. Today we actually stand on a lot of shoulders, right? Because we continue to specialize in helping our customers get their direct mail campaigns produced with better targeting, better and faster in-home delivery, and with more formats, which all results in lower costs and better ROI.
Very, very good. You're a very historic company and very well known in the direct marketing industry. Maybe tell us a few, let's give an outline of some of the types of printing, and I know digital, and also the letter shop capabilities that I know you have.
Well, let me talk about that in a little bit different way. Let's kind of talk about, because I can put that into, that's a big bucket to cover, okay? Simply put, we provide print and direct mail and logistics services for our customers to get their marketing messages in the market, simply put. So as you can imagine, these messages are coming in all kinds of shapes and sizes. And I like to kind of categorize these messages into kind of three areas, if I may. Is that okay? Okay, let's put the first one, inserted mail. What is that? Well, it's a variety of messages. You get that all the time, right? It could be anything that goes into an envelope. It could be an invitation. It could be a number 10 or a business size, or it could even be a 9 by 12 envelope, right? So that's one group of programs that we actually produce for our customers. Second one is postcards and self-mailers. Now we all know about postcards, right? They can be very small, they can be all very big, they're just one piece of paper. Self-mailers, for those who do not know, self-mailers, they're a larger piece of paper, they can be folded in half. Some of them are tri-folded, so you can open them up. There's gatefolded, there can even be self-mailers that have multi-pages within them, but they're a standalone kind of a format. And the third kind of a thing that I like to talk about is specialty mailings. Now, these are mailings that customers are doing because they want the recipient to get an immediate response or a pause. What do I mean by that? Well, those mailers are trying to be able to create a customer engagement, such as what I call a slider or a zip strips. And what I mean by those is, think of a slider. You might have received something in the mail that you are, it's addressed to you, and there's a little notch up on top, and you just have to pull something. You can tell you have to pull something. So you're engaging with it. Or you might have actually received an envelope, an insert piece of mail, that on the back side there might have been a zip strip. It's a tab with a little zip, so you just open it up. So that's creating engagement, right? The other kind of specialty mailings that we see a lot is things to tease one's curiosity. I think of pop-up mailers for that. Those are kinds of mailers that you might have received, and it's in an envelope. You open it up, you take a piece out, and you open that up, and wow, all of a sudden there might be a structure of a car or a pizza box. There's something really engaging and just something you just didn't expect. It's a wow factor, right? And then there are those specialty mailings that tie into activating our senses. You know, our five senses, it's all very important. We all get that nowadays, right? And I put those under coatings, because coatings can do a lot for a piece of paper. They can highlight creative. They can engage your senses. Examples would include like a raised varnishes. So when you touch that, all of a sudden there's something different about it. Something is different, and you can immediately feel that. They're perfect for creating texture to a mail piece. There's also like soft touch. I know you have touched some of those. It's when that's that elegant feel, so soft, velvety feel, right? And then there's even something that's a scented varnish. And a scented varnish, you can really have a lot of fun with that, because that could be as fun as a mailer that is actually, you open that up and it's that new car smell.
Yeah.
Or it could even be something educational. We had a client, a utility client, that wanted to do an educational mailing. And what they want to do is have a scent, the odor of gas. If you smell this gas, the educational folders, you need to get out of the house, dial 911, and do not go back in, because there's danger. So it's a danger smell, right? If you've ever received them, you'll never forget it, you know. So why do we put these things into three buckets, you like to say, right? Well, oftentimes we know that studies have proven that that most of our decisions are based upon emotion, right? And with print and direct mail, there's no better medium to be able to elicit those kind of responses. Why? Well, because they engage more. Our reaction just increases right away. And also our memory recall is stronger. And these are all those triggers that the scientists have talked about as our decision-making, as part of our decision-making processes. And they create a measurable response. And this falls under behavioral or neuroscience marketing. And it's all very, very important as far as the process in order to engage a customer.
Well, certainly today we're spending so much time online, looking at email and looking at all sorts of digital presentations. But with many of us working at home, the moment when we get the mail each day is a break to go check and see what we received. And as I say, if I get something interesting, I may read it over lunch and really spend some time with it. And maybe we get 5 to 10 pieces of direct mail a day, but that's they get a lot more attention than those 200 emails we get every day on multiple accounts. So how do you find direct mail is kind of breaking through and making more of an impression, during this digital era and this COVID era?
Well, I would think that part of it is some of the things that we just kind of talked about, but I think some of our clients now are really looking for ways in which we can engage in bridging the traditional with the digital, right? So there are some things that the post office is doing to help with that, but oftentimes you will see a mailer coming in from a marketer, and that will then say, listen, please scan this QR code. And when you do that, then you are brought to their website, right? So there's an awful lot of that type of thing happening. I would also say is that one of the technology has changed an awful lot, and it's really helping people to help marketers be engaged on a personal level, that one-to-one, more so than ever before. I've received, and you probably have too, loyalty mailings, for example.
Sure.
Where all of a sudden all of your different points are being shared, and geez, depending upon if you've been buying at your local drugstore or pharmacy, you might be buying some different things that they already know some of your preferences, and they're giving you some special opportunities with special discounts that's not available otherwise. So a lot of heavy personalization, a lot of product offerings are being offered, and that really falls into what we call digital printing in many cases, and or a hybrid of the traditional versus the digital. And in my world, the digital means that everything is changing all the time. That is like a press that 1 minute you might have a color of a perfume bottle, and you might be next in line, but you're going to get, because you're right next door to me, but you're going to be getting a new male cologne offering.
Well, it's quite a variety of specialty mailings that can be done, and certainly at CBSI we work with banks that are doing credit card applications, activity generating mail, as well as statements. And one of the things we notice is that people read paper statements much more carefully sometimes, oftentimes, than they do on digital statements. And do you find that there's still a strong readership for the statements that you mail out?
Well, we can tell that there's a strong readership on statements. Now, I'm not talking about transactional statements. I'm just talking about offerings from financial companies.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do I know that? One of my primary ways of knowing that is how often we are being asked to produce things for our customers, right? But more importantly, there's also some great industry resources available to let us know what some of those, who's mailing, what sectors are mailing what. Compromedia is one of those resources that we're a customer of, that tells us every month who's mailing what and what industries are lagging and what are not. So we do know that it's working, because financial is probably one of the strongest industry sectors there are. In addition to that, I'd like to also mention on the financial side, the financial industry has been the leader in privacy and in the whole personalization, going to one-to-one marketing. They've been doing it for 40 years, and they've got some great best practices that they always use.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned that in your facility in Minnesota, in St. Louis Park, you've got 600 employees in your 700,000 square foot facility. Tell us about the skill set of your staff. There's so many specialty skills in the printing industry. I only kind of have touched on it in my career, but there's a whole skill set into printing, and now you have different variations on printing. Just tell us a little bit about the skill set that your staff brings to your clients' work.
Well, thank you for asking that. There's all kinds of things, because yes, the computer technology has integrated itself very much into the technology and into the traditional ways of producing products. So not only do we have color experts, but we also have envelope converters, um, a whole segment of bindery type people who understand saddle stitching, putting staples into a brochure, for example, to, of course, those phenomenal um, uh, press operators. You know, you think you just have to press a button these days. There's a lot more that goes into it. We have presses these days that you start out with a roll of paper and it's being delivered as a finished piece, ready to be mail sorted and go into the mail stream. So yes, we have all kinds of people, and of course, in a company like ours, you have a tremendous way of, you have to be able to manage all that product, right? From raw stock to the end and into the mail stream. And so there's just, you name it, we have the need for these kinds of skill sets, as well as understanding direct mail, and we will teach you how to do that. We will we will also teach you how to if interested, be part of the trade, and and be able to teach you how to do this and be part of this. And these are great paying jobs, and welcome. If anybody's interested, please feel free to contact our website. We are hiring, and
okay.
Please jump on our website. We're more than happy to talk more about those.
That's good to hear. Now, you know, one of the exposure for a lot of clients, people who work for brands, is going out to print facilities to check on the printing that's going to be done, sign off on the pieces, and then, as we've done quite a few times at CVS, I gone out to watch the letter shop operation. Always amazing to see that process. Tell us a little bit about how you work with clients when they come out to visit your facility.
Well, you know, depending upon what they're coming out for a lot of different reasons. The primary reason might be doing a facility, just a facility check. Another one is that they're coming out to just see color, because, you know, color is very subjective, right? And so they wanted to make sure, sometimes that blue is a little too royal, or they want it to be more royal. So they like to be able to come out and actually see how their project is progressing. There's also, because we are also doing a lot of personalization and inserting. A lot of people are not only doing a team doing the color, but they might send a team out to do their data validations and audits, and also auditing throughout the entire process. Now, companies like Japs-Olson, we have a lot of best practices in place all the way through. And so we always have a lot of different ways in which a customer can do an audit. Today, we are hitting with a pandemic. We have a lot of customers who are not allowed to even travel or even come into our facility, because we're all been kind of being very cautious and concerned about safety as well as health situations. But we have worked a lot with our clients. We have opened that up. There's a lot of different ways in which our clients use and fulfill those requirements that they are required to do as far as press audits. And they go anywhere from their account executive to do the press okay for them, or if they're very concerned, we also bring along our G7 certified color specialists that we have on staff with with us. We also do some virtual color okays, so that with a color corrected camera, we can show in a situation similar to what we're doing now in a Zoom, be able to show, hey, this is what we're seeing, this is what we're seeing, and this is what we suggest or not suggest you do. And so we can, so we do a lot of those types of things. So it's all across the board.
Hey, you mentioned that you recently won an environmental award, and certainly you're working in the paper industry and working with ink and other raw products. Tell us a little bit about the award that you just received.
Well, thank you very much for asking that. So it took us several years to be able to expand our facility, which we just finished doing about a year or so ago. And we had to go through a lot of, as you can imagine, a lot of um, local, regional, state, and national requirements because
Wow.
we have the Minnehaha Creek is not too far away from us. In fact, it used to go underneath our building years ago. And now it's just to the side of us. But working with that expansion and with our parking lots and everything else, we now collect a lot of the rainwater, wastewater, and we recirculate that right back into rain gardens, so it does not go into um, the sewers and the wastewater. So it's a recycling kind of a situation. What was kind of nice about that is that we also ended up gifting back to the county part of our land that was close to the Minnehaha watershed creek. And there was some very interesting engineering excellence that they really enjoyed and they were really impressed with as far as our new parking lot to make sure that none of the wastewater and the contaminants would ever go into the creek or into the groundwater. And so we're very proud of receiving that. It's not often given, and we're very proud of that. Thank you very much. And
And
we
deservingly
also do an
so.
awful lot of other environmentally. Everything we do is very environmentally conscious. I have to say it's that my uncle Bob Murphy, who was president and CEO for many years of our company, really got involved with the industry, the national industry, printing industries of America, and he was the chair of the environmental committee. And this was 35, 40 years ago. So we were thinking about these things before it was even fashionable, okay? And of course, who was the guinea pig for everything? It was Japs-Olson. And so we have always been on the forefront of almost every technological advancement to improve the environment and being environmentally conscious.
Well, that's great to hear your dedication to being environmentally friendly. One partner that we work with and I support all the time is the United States Postal Service. Whenever I see a letter carrier come by our house or a building, I always say thank you because they're out there. They're out there today in the rain. Other days they're out in snow, and in August they're out in the heat, and they're delivering mail for us and our clients. Banks, as I said, are mailing statements, they're mailing applications, they're mailing promotions, and how important it is. I know a major letter shop company, you've mailed over 1.3 billion pieces or close to 1.3 billion pieces this year. Having a strong relationship with the Postal Service, understanding how they work is so important. Tell us a little bit of how you see your relationship and partnership with the Postal Service.
Well, that's a great question, and it's a very important question because it is probably, they are the primary ways in which our customers are getting their marketing messages out. And only with print and direct mail can you end up getting your messages out in the unique fashion. No other medium can touch it, right? So, the post office is very, very important to us, and we have a very close relationship. Of course, they're always in our facility checking on all of our processes to make sure that we are doing everything for their standards. If not, and achieving that, they grade us as well as they grade themselves. And so the post office is there really to be able to help facilitate things. And if I can just kind of, they work with us hand in glove with some, especially with innovative kinds of formats. A lot of people think that this is the post office of grandma and grandpa, right? It's not. It's not. It's not. It is one of today. And why I say that? Yes, it's got the semblance of grandma and grandpa because you end up getting your mail at your mailbox, right? But they have been doing a yeoman's job of trying to modernize the post office and being very in tune to what is actually happening. They have a whole innovative branch that they work with suppliers and major marketers around the country as far as innovative things that they're taking a look at. In fact, they even have a promotional program where they offer different things to help incentivize people to think outside the box. And that can be from some of the scents that we were talking about, some of the varnishes, unique varnishes and pop-ups and coatings that we were just talking about, to even working with clients about QR codes and even automated learning kinds of different things that are going on. So they have a real robust innovation group. And what's really exciting is if you can start working with them, and we work with them every single day, to develop some of these things, that they have created a really great program to incentivize marketers and mailers to try something new, go outside the box. And that is on some of these programs, that incentive is getting an additional 2% discount on mail, on top of all the other different kinds of discounts that you're able to enjoy. That's really a big deal. But I also would say that the post office, they're trying to be as, they've been challenged just like the rest of us, right? The one thing they've been challenged with that we probably have not been quite, we all have an opinion about, is that they're also dealing with a very interesting bureaucratic structure, right? With all their different governors and also and reporting to Congress. But they're also dealing things like we're dealing with every single day too, right? They're dealing with pandemic issues associated with health and safety. And also they're trying to do everything that we're all trying to do, and plus move that mail. Oh, by the way, you mentioned it's kind of raining there a little bit, but
yeah.
I think a horrible hurricane just hit Louisiana the 5th time. They have systems in place to protect that mail and then deliver it appropriately afterwards. I heard that California has had a few forest fires, horrible situations going on. As soon as that happens, they notify the system and the marketers and ourselves, and I believe even the individual people are able to go right up to USPS.gov and find out about their service levels and what they're doing to protect your mail and to be able to ensure you get your mail when you need it. So I think that is really very exciting. The other thing that the post office tries to do to try and bring it to modern day world is that they are actually, they put out a USPS quarterly performance. So they've got certain criteria, don't we all? Performance measurements. And they're trying to be extremely transparent in the marketplace. And so they put out their quarterly performance, and this is done by a national level, also local and regional. And what this does is tells you on a snapshot of how are they delivering their mail by their own standards. And that is really interesting. And I find that this is one of the key things a lot of mailers like Japs-Olson uses a lot to help guide their clients for mailing, make sure things get in home on time as much as possible. But what's been surprising is that the post office sent out or released a report, a special report just for the week of October 10th. What was interesting about that report is that they shared that for that week, 85% of their first class mail was delivered on time. And almost 98% of it was delivered within 2 days of their service standards. That's pretty remarkable. For marketing mail, which is like business mail, stuff that we deal with as well, 86% was delivered on time. And a whopping 97% was delivered within that 1 or 2 day time of their targeted time period. So I think that is really interesting. But mailers like also track our own mail. We also have that capability. Yeah. And we're finding that those findings are very consistent with what we're finding as well.
Well, there's so many stories about the United States Postal Service being able to manage mail delivery after a hurricane in Florida or another part of the country, as you said, about the terrible wildfires, being able to hold mail until it's safe to deliver. And oftentimes that is so important for people to receive their mail after they've been through a very tough weather situation. And you mentioned the importance on the service you provide to your clients of just measuring mail delivery times around the country based on different rates, third class versus first class. And I can tell you manage that very carefully for your clients.
We certainly do. We certainly try to do that. You're right. But there are things that can happen. It just happens even when you're doing a Zoom call and all of a sudden, something freezes up, right? So there's not a technology out there that it's not affected one way or the other. That's a perfect panacea. But time over time, year after over year, when you're trying to be able to get your critical communications into customers, there's nobody that does it like the post office and at the rate the post office offers. It's the best deal in town.
And Debbie Roth, Vice President, Sales and Marketing at Japs-Olson in Minnesota. You are a tremendous patron of the direct marketing, direct response, digital marketing trade. We see the Japs-Olson name at many events that we go to, New England Direct Marketing Association, Direct Marketing Club in New York, which we're very active with, and other groups, some of the national groups. Maybe just tell us a little bit about some of the organizations that you participate with and provide leadership to within the different direct marketing and print trade organizations.
Well, thank you very much for making sure that part of our conversation does involve our awesome associations. And there's several of them in the industry. And I'm often asked, why do you bother? Why does Japs-Olson get involved with some of these associations? Well, we are strong supporters of our associations from a business side of things as well as from a customer side of things. And we have found that these associations are valuable from an advocacy, from an educational, and a networking perspective. And whether it is on the national, regional, or local level, associations such as the SGIA, which has just acquired the PIA, Printing Industries of America, or even the ANA, which is known as the Association of National Advertisers. They just recently acquired the DMA, or the Nonprofit Alliance, or PIMA, which stands for Professional Insurance Marketing Associates, as well as some of our local associations on the local level. So from an individual perspective, as well as from a corporate perspective, these associations are just critical for our industry. And if it's one thing I have, is passion for our industry. And I really do enjoy being able to present and be able to bring the associations and support those, whether it's at a conference or speaking or in a trade show environment. Yeah. And we also do other things as well, as far as the not just showing up, but we also believe in being active within those organizations. And I have been privileged to be a member of, for example, the ANA's International Echo Board of Governors. And in that capacity, I'm the chair of the Partnerships Committee. And I also chair the ANA's Print in the Digital Age Committee. All very, very important committees, and it's right in our world, because it talks about our industries and the challenges and the new things that are coming in. College and universities cannot tell you what is actually coming down the pike and what's new in the industry. That is going to be your service providers. That's going to be your clients who've got these solutions that we're trying to solve for. So the last thing that I would like to encourage people to do is, consider always supporting your associations. Enter in their award programs. the ECHO Awards, or there might be the NEDMA's award program, or the Kansas City DMA's award program. There's so many out there, and I've had the privilege of being asked to be on the jury on many of these programs at both the local, the regional, and the national levels. But that is one way in which you can give back and be able to celebrate the phenomenal work that you are doing as a company, as an agency, and as a provider.
Well, we have the pleasure of working with the DMA for many years now, part of ANA, PIMA, Professional Insurance Marketing Association, and I've been involved with the ECHO Awards for a number of years, and we've been able to film and interview some of the honorees at that very prestigious award program. And they're gearing up with their contests and their entries for next year's awards, which will be presented in February. And we're looking forward to that. Hopefully we can
Well, I got a newsflash on you. I can give you a newsflash on that. So that due to to our current environment, they have extended this year's ECHOs, and that will be done in April this year. So if anybody who has not had the chance to get their I have to do a plug, right? To get their awards in, it is still open. Go for it, because we're really excited by the fact that we've got some amazing campaigns that have come in already. So we're really excited about it.
Well, we will make sure we publicize that. We've talked to a couple of people on the committee, and it's an outstanding program recognizing the best in digital marketing and direct marketing. Debbie Roth, Vice President of Japs-Olson in St. Louis Park, Minnesota. Do you have a final thought for us today?
Well, I want to thank you very much for the opportunity to talk about our amazing industry and about Japs-Olson, what we're seeing in the industry, as well as with our associations. And thank you very much.
It's a delight to talk with you, hear about your outstanding company, a third generation firm, and the work that you do to support the trade organizations that you're involved with, and really a very nice talk about that you offered about the United States Postal Service. I'm involved a little bit because I know they hire a lot of veterans to work at the USPS, and the work they do to deliver mail in all weather to every zip code in the country. And it's great to hear from an industry leader like yourself. And I hope we can do this again. And it's a pleasure to talk with you today. Debbie Roth, Vice President of Japs-Olson in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, commercial printer and direct mailers, who has mailed 1.3 billion pieces so far this year.
Thank you.
Our pleasure. This is Ken Kreitzer for CBSI Services, Talking Business, all to highlight the work done by our team in Harrison, New York. We provide insurance benefits, customer service to the credit card industry. We thank today's guest, Debbie Roth from Japs-Olson, and we look forward to doing this again. Everybody have a great day. I'm in my home office in White Plains, New York. Have a great day. Thank you for watching.